Hello guys, I know that many of you are genuinely worried for Ukraine after Donald Trump's decision to halt military aid for Ukraine, including the one that was already on our border, which means like it was sent to Ukraine months ago. Poland has confirmed that, and honestly, it is not a surprise to us. I think one of the tasks of Putin was to compromise the White House and to actually demonstrate this administration as an enemy to the democratic world. And trust me, even if some negotiations will continue and Ukrainian and European politicians will keep speaking with the White House, it is just a smoke curtain. We clearly understand we cannot trust Donald Trump. He obviously lives in a virtual reality where to achieve peace, you need to lift sanctions from the aggressor and to ban military aid for the victim. You can imagine how happy the Russian gang is. Well, actually, you don't need to imagine that. You can check Medvedev's posts, that is the crazy former Russian president, in which he glorifies the decision of Trump to abandon this awful Ukraine. Well, of course, we have a lot of plans A, B, and C. It was not a surprise to us, but let's discuss what stands behind this decision. I know it can change tomorrow. I also know it can change again the day after tomorrow, and this is also bad. So let's discuss what are the reasons for that. How are we trying to prepare ourselves for this kind of Washington decisions? And most importantly, how did Zelensky address Trump before his future show, State of the Union speech? My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, subscribe, we discuss all of that on the channel. And we stand together because the world is in great danger. Honestly, the decision to halt or stop all the military aid for Ukraine is a blackmail that is more typical for Russia, not for the United States. Moreover, this is not a kind of new military aid that, you had to vote or Trump had to support. This is the one that was decided on perhaps like months and months ago. And by the way, many of you who follow my channel remember how for 6 or almost 9 months Ukrainian soldiers did not receive the necessary support because the Republicans prevented that decision. And it seemed like a political move. Right now, it is perfectly in line with Trump's decision to save Russia. And by the way, it cost a lot, including some serious problems during our counter-offensive. And of course, lots and lots and lots of lives of Ukrainian soldiers, which Trump and Musk claim to care about. Most importantly, the majority of this military aid that we receive are systems of air defense. So you can guess, these are to protect our cities and our civilians. And when we have lack of Patriot shells or other stuff, you see that. We are not able to intercept Russian missiles and they target them in most heavily populated districts. So I honestly do not know what kind of power move is that. Or is it a way to impress the world with his leadership that you actually prevent Ukraine from defending civilians while Russia keeps bombing us on a daily basis, demonstrating total disrespect to Trump's peace plan? If Trump, who desperately wants to get a Nobel Prize and definitely does not deserve it, just like Obama, so Trump, who wants to end this war and who says that President Zelensky does not respect him enough, does not want peace enough, is so blind because it's Putin who constantly disrespects him by killing civilian Ukrainians on a daily basis when Trump keeps repeating that Putin wants peace. Doesn't he understand that actually he destroys Trump's image for centuries ahead? And blood of Ukrainian people, which they continue to spell, is partially now on Donald Trump's hands because he says it is okay and Putin wants peace. And I'm sure that Putin's plan actually is to involve Donald Trump in all of the war crimes that he commits, parallel to these absurd efforts of Washington to humiliate Ukraine and Zelensky. I don't know how they don't see it. Okay, Trump seems to be very self-centered, but what about people around him? I was surprised to see that Rubio and others, they were saying totally different things, just like 2 years ago. People, you've lost your personalities. That is evil. And that is, by the way, another proof that Trump is not a good leader, because people betray their ideas around him. People stop being themselves around him. We will not follow their example because the truth is vital for Ukraine's survival. If we start compromising the truth about this war, we will end up Russia's province, and no one wants that in Ukraine. Subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine, and please share these videos on your social media. This matters a lot, especially right now. So these messages, which is a total smoke curtain that Ukraine does not want peace enough, Zelensky does not want peace enough, and Putin wants. That's why he shells us. And actually, let me know in the comments below, that's important. Give me at least one example of the demands, strong messages sent by Trump administration to Putin with a source. I will be very grateful to see that. And, another important message, what we hear, is that they prepare lifting the sanctions for Russia and they prepare abandoning aid for Ukraine. Seems like a very strong plan. Help Ukraine give up. Honestly, those of you who understand the problem of this moment, I will share with you a joke that we say that actually Putin's blitzkrieg succeeded, but not in Kyiv, in Washington. Because what Trump offers right now is surrender. And his mineral deal, even if we sign it, it is nothing. Because first of all, no way to get these minerals. It will take 10 years. We don't know, will we need them? Will you need them in 10 years? But most importantly, do you remember they had a similar deal with Afghanistan before leaving it quite unexpectedly? So here in Ukraine, everyone actually takes a mineral deal as something bad, as a bad symptom, as a symptom that soon you will be abandoned. They will not be able to trick us. And, what I like is that we are working on our own peace plan so that no one can say Ukraine does not want it. Most importantly, we work together with our allies. And I want to remind people of the United States that Europe, Australia, Canada, these are actually your friends, no matter how crazy or mad messages are coming from X. These are your friends, true friends, not Russia. And, Zelensky addressed Trump. He did not apologize, but I'm sure the White House will manipulate and say, oh, Zelensky apologized. Zelensky was speaking to Trump, I am sorry, Trump supporters, as to a sick child. There are some things that you have to do. By the way, many people in the United States are very focused on your internal politics, and it may seem to you that people are afraid of Trump in Ukraine or Europe. We're not afraid of Trump. We are afraid of madness of his decisions, and it's different. It's not like you look at him as a very cunning and interesting but evil leader. No, you're looking at a person who destroys his own country with tariffs, who breaks up with all the friends that actually guarantee this top position of the United States in the world, who abandons friends, and actually, once again, support of Ukraine, support of Europe is of national interest for America. Trust me. When someone agrees with Trump on public or addresses him, flattering him, understand it does not mean that a person means that. It's just like rules and instructions. You have to compliment him, for him not to say some, not to shake the world. But honestly, I believe all of that will fail. And once again, okay, Ukraine signs a mineral deal. What's next? You've signed one with Afghanistan. You had businesses in Vietnam. What's next? Will Trump push Putin? Will he say something? No, he will continue pushing Putin's vision of peace. The only thing that we can get is more time to mobilize with our European, Canadian, Australian allies and fight for ourselves. And I think that number one plan of Putin is to isolate America, and not just to isolate America, but to make the United States untrustworthy, unpredictable, and that is what happens right now. I don't know why Trump thinks that's the road to success, that you just humiliate everyone, you shout at everyone. People have dignity. Honestly, there are a lot of people with dignity. There are a lot of brave people. Not all are like Rubio, that today you say one thing and tomorrow you say another. And trust me, Ukraine will surprise you, and many other countries. I was quite worried to see this new order that forbids unplanned rallies at the universities, protests, and so on. I believe that some of them may be bad or dangerous, but the majority are okay. And there is a striking resemblance between Trump and our former president Yanukovych, who later fled to Russia. By the way, maybe one day Trump will flee to Russia. That will be interesting. Anyway, we have to remain united. We have to play by the rules. Nobody wants peace more than Ukraine. I am sure we will sign some kind of edition of that mineral deal, which means nothing, just like Budapest Memorandum. Main attention. Everybody knows that in Ukraine, literally everybody knows that. And in his address on X to Trump before this speech, that I'm sure will be very emotional and very illogical, with lots of threats to old friends and lots of promises to enemies that just wait and watches how this strong democracy destroys itself, and just Putin is drunk all the time from champagne in the Kremlin, I'm sure. But Zelensky addressed beautifully and said that Ukraine is prepared to work on the lasting peace under the leadership of Donald Trump. And now it's the turn of Donald Trump to say something to Russia and to get a response. But I guarantee you he will not do it, because according to Putin's plan, it is Trump who is working under the leadership of Putin. Let's be realistic once again. Trump did not demand anything from Russia. And don't think this is some kind of cunning diplomacy. What kind? Why do you start humiliating, demotivating, actually lying about strong, beautiful, decent country that has always been your friend, and you start complimenting your enemy and prizing a bloody dictator with whom no one wanted to shake hands? What is the strategy behind that? Do not deceive yourself. Once again, Why do you promise to lift sanctions from an aggressor and ban military aid to a victim? Where is the great plan, this 4D chess and so on? But I'm sure like nobody knows what to do in Washington. Most importantly, Trump does not have any plan, and American companies are well bombed here. Moreover, with such people as Trump, these American companies can continue working when Ukraine is renamed Russia after Trump and Putin decide on that. So I want to tell you that we know that we are working on plan B, C, and D, including Starlink, without Starlink, because unfortunately, this really short period of this chaos in the White House demonstrated that we cannot rely or trust on our allies in the United States. And it's not just my Ukrainian opinion, it is also the opinion of people in Britain, in Germany, and many people in the United States. I think it will pass. And you know, the more chaotic, emotional decisions, messages, all of that like mess is coming, the sooner it can actually end. Because once again, there is too much threats coming from the White House to normal countries. There is too many crazy messages coming from Elon Musk. People are fed up, and once again, they are not afraid of Trump and Musk. Here in Ukraine, we're not afraid. We are concerned and worried for their behavioral, how do you say it, like abnormalities. And once again, even if we are polite, it's just because we are polite people, but trust us, we don't trust them. Thank you so much for your support. Remember to join me on X, that's important, Instagram, Threads, Discord, and Blue Sky, and share these videos on your social media platforms. I'm always grateful when you demonstrate your support for Ukraine. This helps influence even such chaotic politicians as Donald Trump. If you want some t-shirts or sweatshirts, you can check our merch shop. The link is in the description. They actually work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. But most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!